Our next two guests are Laurianne Espinadel. She's a former Enjmin student, sound designer, and she is now working at Slow Clap on Sifu. And she's here today with Rousselot, who is a senior sound designer on Sifu as well. And they are going to talk about their experience working on the game for the past few years. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. So here we will talk about globally the development of Sifu, which is now out for 1 year, and it will looks like kind of a post-mortem with some specificity about the sound design. And so we will start with the first look at Sifu must be done with a look back to the previous game made by Slow Clap. So Absolver is an action game which allows multiple players to join for a fight in versus mode or in cooperation. It took 3 years to be developed and 1 year of post-launch content. It's at this moment that I came to Slow Clap in sound design. So just a quick look at on how does it look. Okay, thanks. So the main idea of Absolver is that you can learn little by little the move to make your own combo at the end. And the more you fight, more you learn. And at the end, you can build up your own deck and challenge the other player. So starting with this game, the world challenge was how do we came to Sifu. So the basic idea of Sifu was first to capitalize on the Absolver fighting experience and to give another martial art experience to the player, and absolutely solo experience because on Absolver almost 50% of the total amount of bugs was linked to the online feature of the game. So on Sifu we just wanted to keep to save our time on the real production of the game and not to spend energy in an online functionality. So solo experience, tribute to Kung Fu movie as well. We could say that the basic idea of Sifu was like you are in a movie of Jackie Chan. You have to improvise with your environment. You have to take some object to fight with, and you are fighting against multiple enemies in the same time. So the idea of fights that could impact the environment was crucial. We really wanted to have this feeling of when you have finished your fight and you look back to the scene is almost destroyed with many chunks everywhere, and the corpse on the floor, and the mourning of the enemies, etc. The last idea in this game is the fact, which it's what we call the aging system, is the fact that basically your character cannot really die, but each time he is knocked out, when you come back in the game, you are older, and at the end, the challenge is to keep your age the lower possible, because at the end there is a game over when you are too old to keep fighting. So just a quick look of on the video, just to know how does it feel.
They've blocked the entrance to the warehouse. Need to find another way inside.
Get lost. Nothing here for you. Hey! Hey, you! Came to the wrong place, pal.
Junkies. I don't think they'll be a problem.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know if you are already played the game, but in the idea of a kung fu movie, the storyline is quite classic, because it's a vengeance story, as Kill Bill, for example, which you have to find the 5 boss who kill your master. And yeah, so you could say there is almost nothing to do with Absolver, but in this slide you can see the very start of the development of Sifu, and you can see in the left bottom picture that we still are with a Absolver feeling with this camera and this character. And the challenge for us was to undress Absolver to keep the core fighting features only, and start to add some new elements. But at the beginning, it could be kind of weird to work in a new game that looks exactly like the previous one. The first prototype of Sifu looked like a lot with Absolver, and little by little it changed to become our vertical slice. So it's the next one. So the vertical slice, I don't know if you are familiar with this term, but vertical slice is a preview of all the key features of the game, as if you picked up a slice of a big cake and you can see clearly the layers of cream and fruits, and you can have an overview of what will be the game. So in this vertical slice, it was a little level where we can already see what will be in the game. So the confrontation with a bunch of enemies, when they call you like, hey, well, what do you why are you here, get out, etc. Then the fight, when the revive system, and you can see on these pictures that it's the base of the video you see just before. In fact, it's the video you saw is the extension of this idea of a warehouse with drug dealers, etc. The basic idea was already there. The next slide is another screenshot of this vertical slice. So with this vertical slice, we could contact the editor to show how the game could be, and how it could be fun to play, and with this this vertical slice, we been chosen by Colon Knight, that give us the money to continue the production. So next one, the production basics, is just how we worked on Sifu. The particularity of this this project, like a lot of other projects now, is that we had to manage with the lockdown and the COVID situation. We can say after this production that we mostly managed to keep productivity quite high, even if we were full remote for a long time. And yeah, finally we didn't have a very big impact of this situation, hopefully. On the manager approach, we worked with 2 weeks sprints. It's a manner to work on each feature by a pair of two weeks. So at the beginning of the first week, we make a big meeting to say, okay, on this sprint, we will work about this feature, on this feature. And at the end of the second week, we show to each other where is the feature, does it work well, does it need another sprint to be polished, or does it not working, or etc. So this logic of 2 week sprint follow the production during the 2 years of production with Sifu, and it's still relevant to us to work with that. And of course, have an overview of the future milestone of the game. and the key moment we have to achieve different features to not be late at the end of the production. Okay, now just a quick chat about the dependencies we have. In Slowclap, we have the market team inside the studio, and we all make by ourselves all the marketing assets, such as trailer and see a demo hands-on for E3 or whatever. And in fact, we have to keep in mind that at each of these moments it's a moment where your production in the game is very slow, because imagine you have to we can take the example of Edge. Edge told us, oh yeah, we really want to interview you. We will come to your studio and play at the game and make an article about you. So at this moment, we have to choose which part of the game we will play. They will play, excuse. And so we have to focus all the forces on a very particular moment of the game. And you don't want you want the game to be stabilized. You have to make some debug before, so you have to freeze the production 1 week before to be sure that the version is the good one, because you wanted to show the game as if it could be definitive in its definitive version. It's the same thing for the trailers. We could see the launch trailer, but in the trailer you want to show the whole game. Look, there is a snow environment, there is a club environment, or what you want. But each time it's, oh yeah, you want to show this, but look, here it's not accurate. Here the art is not definitive. We have to work on the lighting. It will take some time. Here the enemies make seems buggy. We have to correct the animation. And each time we make a trailer, it frees the production, and it's quite tough to manage with this date and this milestone. Next one. So quick talk about my part of the game. So basically, what ideally in the game, in sound, we want to make this these 4 steps. So starting with recording stuff, when then derush and post-prod what you have recording, integrate this in the audio engine, and integrated all of this in the game. You could see that our audio engine was Wise, and the Unreal environment for the game. In Sifu, at the top of the production, we were 5 sound designers with some specialization, such as cinematics, music, and voices. Laurianne, will talk about it later in the presentation. And the full question is how to begin with with a new game, you are in a pre-production, nothing is ready for you, and you in sound, you have to start your research. So at the end of Absolver, excuse me, at the end of Absolver, I wanted to focus the impact sounds of the fight. So I started with recording everything I had in my house, such as vegetables, pillow, and a lot of stuff like this. We can listen to it. I hope you hear something. I did not hear anything, but yeah, tell me if you hear something.
Yeah, we hear.
Okay, cool. So it's quite raw, but next time steps is to derush and layer all this sound. So you can see my nomenclature. You can see, okay, I need this pillow sound for the base layer. Now I will hit a skin texture for the punch. We will add some vegetables sound to the mid frequencies, and in fact at the end your impact is the addition of a lot of different sound. You can see that at the bottom there is also gun sounds, just to test. In this moment of research, you can really try anything you want, and just to see how does it sound. And next, I made this little presentation with a first version of my research early in the production. Just to show to the rest of the team how could it sound. Later in the production, okay, see, just just before, with all the sound I made, I sort it to have some different intensity. To make the difference between a light and medium and hard punch. And at the end in the production, we work with what we called our keyboard, Zoo keyboard. Yeah, and it was a solution for us to review the SFX of the fight and be able to compare the sounds each other. So you can play the video, please. There is some buttons to change the strength, and here you have basically a character with the head, the torso, and the legs. And each time you play on the keyboard, you trick the sound according the option you chose before. And it was important for us to be able to review this particular impact SFX aside of the rest of the game, because it's it's a sound which is crucial in our game. Now, let us chat about the music in the game. We, at the very beginning of the production, we started to find a composer which will incarn the duality of our game, which mix the traditional Chinese influence with some more urban reality, and we hear the work of Willy, and especially this next song. And when we hear it, we totally fall in love with his work, because it was absolutely what could fit with our game. If we can listen to it. Yeah, it was not the right time code, but take a look of on its work. It's very great, and in fact, the challenge here is to work with someone that is not he hasn't made some video games before, and he had to learn how to work in video games, how to produce music. So how do we work with him? We gave him the overview of the hideout, which is the name of the level, and we explain the three different steps of the level, and the change of intensity, and we ask him to make a music that could fit with the whole game, with the whole levels. Excuse me. So for a level, he gave us 20 minutes music, and on my part, I sliced it to fit with each situation and make the music goes with the player during the session. So we can listen to an example in the next slide. So here is the track he gave us in the whole form, and now we will see in the situation how we can play with the different instruments to make make the music more dynamic. Oh, serious? You have to find the right timing. Sorry. I give you it.
Back out now.
Okay, 9:30. Thank you. Sorry.
Come and face your judgment.
Squad 7, he's in the elevator shaft. Repeat, he's in the shaft. Send Squad 9, send them now.
Squad 9 on its way.
Get out of my way. I'll do this.
Virgil. You late to back out now.
Okay, cool. And that's it. And to finish, I wanted to show you some tricks we used in the SFX on the game. You just have to launch the videos one after the other. For the previous example, it's totally random that I heard some days I had a bag of nutshells, and I played with it. I recorded it, and one day I start to slow down the sound it made, and it looked like the thunder. So a lot of the thunder you hear in the game are in fact these nutshells. And the same thing with the rain, which is it's a cinema tricks, but yeah, the most of the rain you hear in the movies, in fact, are just basically some myths and j'ai perdu le mot. Voilà. Vous mettrez vous-même. Okay, I think I have finished my part of the presentation. I will let Laurianne to pursue the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, they do the rain with clapping. So about the voice in Sifu, this topic concerns all the voices, like the... No, Lucas, stay here. Or if you want to go, you can. So this concerns the dialogue, the reaction sentences, and the onomatopoeia that you will hear. We can cut this in 5 phases. beginning with the text writing of the sentence, then the creation of placeholder assets to test the sentence and to rework the text. Then the studio recording with some actors, real actors. We get this sound. We do post production on them, and then we integrate everything in the game in Wise and in Unreal. So for now, I will explain in details every step. So first, we write the script. So writer and not game designer, but narrative designer write the script. I take the sentence. I go on the website to have the robots who speech the text for me. I record it, and then I will follow every single step until the integration in game to test it in game to test the sentence. And then if we found some sentence that are not good in game, or we just want to change a word, we go back to the script, re-recording the bot, go back again in the integration in the game and test and loop this until we think we have finished about the text, and we can go to the second step, who is okay. Wait, I will move Luca again. Okay. So, in fact, if when we record with some actors, you can, but you can't change the text, because you will not pay again the actor and the external studio. Because at Slow Clap we work in remote with external studio in England and in China. For English and Mandarin it was Side, and for Cantonese I can't find the name. So Luca, if you know the name of the studio who do the Cantonese version, I will.
Is that Salt?
Maybe. I can't find it on the. So yeah, there is three language in Sifu. The first was English because it's an international language. So when you don't have Ubisoft money, you go in English. And then we add the Mandarin because Chinese is our main target, and Mandarin was the main spoken language. And now we work on Cantonese to go back on our origin, who are the Kung Fu movies. So it's like an homage with this Cantonese version. So what you see is here. You have the voice casting with like voice actor name, a little specification about them, link for on some test sequence, and then the character that they will play. And here it's all the sentence in the game, infinite. So yeah, for this take the most time of the production, like recording first, casting, we do some cast if we think that this actor can't play two character, or this actor can play this character specifically, or this actor looks so young, and after we learned that these actors are 70 years old, so young voice. And yeah, it's like months of feedbacks and of email with the studios. But it's so important because you will do that one time and it's forever. So if you miss something, if you forget something, it will be in the game. You can't miss anything. That's why I check all the files that we receive, and we do feedbacks, and I recheck everything when we have new files, and then I check also with the Excel. So this. We have the English version, the Mandarin version, and the Cantonese version, and the name of the sentence. So if I have the sentence and in English it was simple, because I don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese, so it's another step. But to be sure that one sentence is the same for English, Mandarin, and Cantonese, we check everything. We check with some native too, because yeah, if someone say hello and in Cantonese he say goodbye, it's not good, and we can't see that on our own. So we ask some native. And with that, for my part, I can tell that, okay, this sentence look like this sentence, because I just listen the sentence, and it look like a song, and I learn the melodic of the sentence in Mandarin and Cantonese. And I can cut words in the sentence if I need to, even if I don't understand anything, even if I can't read anything. I can find a word, just take it away, and take in another word, put it back at this place, and it works magically. But yeah, it's like the post-production is a part like you take something, you don't understand it, you learn the language, you learn how the language work, you put your hand in it, and then you export it, and you ask people who speak to tell you if it's right or no, and each time it was right, so the magic happened. With this file, we go back in Wise and in Unreal. For this part, here you see the same lists, but here you have the Wise parts with each lines. It's lines of one character, and in each line you have a female version and a male version, because in the game you have you can fight the same character but female or male, and or your character can also be male or female, so you have to some sentences are on both also. And for the main character, there is another step because you can age in the game, so your voice with age too. And I put an example of one sentence, and you will listen the youngest one, the older, and you will normally hear the difference.
I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking for a fight.
So you can hear like the we go back in the low aspect of the voice. We do that with an EarCam plugin, and with this plugin we didn't need to cast different actor to do the different age of our main character. It's super efficient. And with this in Wise, we have to pass it to Unreal. For Unreal, we had a little software with all the settings, and if we have some choice, and all the sentences are here, and here there is a little number that we report in Wise to find after, go back in Unreal and tell Unreal, okay, this sentence you can find it by your own way, because it's a name that you have in your files. So everything was automatic, and we didn't have to put one sentence and after one in some tables. And after in the game, the level designer and game designer tell, okay, here you play this sentence. If our character have the key, you play this sentence, or you can choose this, and everything just go, and automatically you can hear when it work. Okay, I just looked the time. Yeah, after that, if you find that some sentence doesn't work, or some sentences are in English only but not in Mandarin, you just go back in the table, you go back in Wise, and you check everything again, and normally the magic happens, and you find you find that you didn't just move something. It's not really a complicated task, but there is such a massive amount of files that you can forget just a little thing, and it will impact all the production. So you have to be really meticulous when you work in voice design, and yeah, because you will just have screen of Excel and check in 3 Excel in parallel, like why this sentence here is not this sentence here, and just be just check everything, because you will work with many different people in many different specialties, and you are the key. If someone didn't find something, you are the key to find it, and you are the link between all people. So yeah, it's for my part, it's really great. But yeah, you have to be aware of just watching this kind of GIF in your days of work, and not be afraid by it. And now we will listen something. So here you will heard the placeholder voice, and you will see the change in UI 2 between the placeholder voice and the placeholder step to the final step of the same sentence.
Open it, open, fucking junkie. Check this fucking clown out. We can help you with something? Hey, I talk to you.
The warehouse? Which way?
The fuck you want with the warehouse? You do know where you are, right?
I'm looking for the botanist.
The freak? He doesn't take meetings. Anyway, give all you got now.
Open it! Open up! Don't make me bust this damn door down! Ah, check this fucking clown out! Help you with something?
The warehouse. Which way?
Fuck you want? You do know where you are, right?
I'm looking for Fajar.
Nobody wants to see the freak, and the freak don't want to see nobody. Now, empty your pockets.
So the game stay with the placeholder for some months. And because I was aware of that, I do different voices for each type of enemy, and for female and male voices, because I know that all the team will listen to this for some months and go crazy. So yeah, when the real voice come, it was magical. Yeah, really. And now.
Open it.
No.
Open it.
No,
Open.
I don't
Fucking
want
junkie.
No, you want to open. Okay. So what's now on Sifu? The game comes to 2 new platforms, or 1.5. It will become on Xbox and Steam. So on our side, we work on it as long as we work on the PlayStation part and Switch and Epic part. But we work on a new game mode called the Arena, and I will show you the trailer because it's amazing. So yeah, it's for me it's really I like it very much. So I play it every day and I like it. So yeah, and with this, the Cantonese voices will join the cast, and we are currently working on it. So for that also, it's really cool to work again on voices and in a project that I know. And yeah, that's all for us. So don't hesitate if you have questions.
So we have a bit of time for questions again. So if you have any, you can raise your hands.
Hello, thank you for the talk. It was very interesting. It looks very scary to manage this amount of files, but you seem to handle it pretty well, Laurianne, so congrats. So my question is about the flow state. It's actually a question that I asked previously to the person working on UX design. So during the Sifu development, were you able to find ways to bring or maintain the flow state within the player's experience through the use of sound? And if so, were you able to confirm the reality of these ways through playtests? Thank you.
I think, Luca, you are more able to
I didn't hear the question mark, in fact.
Okay, it was about the flow in the game and how the work of sound impacts the flow of the game.
Maybe I can repeat it if you want.
Yeah, be more specific.
Okay,
maybe?
so my question was, did you find or search during the development ways to bring the flow state in the player's experience through the use of sound in general, but maybe interactive systems, things to prevent cognitive overload, things like that. Did you thought about the flow state when designing sounds, and if so, what was your ways and concepts to keep that flow state in the player's experience?
Yeah, I think I understand the question. In fact, we can talk about it with the music, which the music really goes with the action of the player and support every new situation and keep continuity in the music, and it will it will give this feeling, I think, but I can be more precise.
You want me to be more precise? That's what you asked?
No, I am.
Sorry.
I can't be more precise. I didn't really think about this question.
Okay, and so I had a second question, but I think it's going to be more simple to answer to it. So players, they play during long period of time, most of the time, and so the sounds can become very repetitive over time. But not only, it's not only about the repetition of sounds; it's about the volume and the frequencies. A certain long exposition to frequencies over time, it can create fatigue to the players. Did you thought about dynamic systems to maybe alter the mix over time, or ensure that maybe if the player is playing like for an hour, it's not going to be tired by the repetition of certain sounds at some point? I don't know if it's something you've considered or thought about.
I think we mostly wanted to have the better sound possible, and think about it in the long session, long during session, and we don't have a system that could fix the mix in a long session, but the global mix and the global how could I say dynamic is calculated on a 1 hour session, and the medium value of your dynamic is made on an 1 hour session of game, and the mix is made according to the result of this value. I hope I am clear. Or
Yes, it was. He says it's very clear. Thank you for the answer. We had another question.
Hi. I want to know if you work on specific sonor feedback. Maybe, in example, on some fighting game, blind people can play can play this game and even win because they can recognize each hit, each move of each character with the sound they make. And in Sifu, you want to work a lot in accessibility. So did you do the same kind of work in Sifu?
The example of a fighting game is quite interesting because, yeah, it's amazing how to see how blind people can play Street Fighter or this kind of game. We didn't really focus this situation particularly, but each impact in the game has to bring some precise feedbacks and information of does the impact miss or succeed, the power of the impact, the height, if it's in the head, in the torso, in the legs. If I guard, if I take damage, even if I guard, or this kind of feedbacks, I can't honestly say that you can make the difference between the impact of an enemy and yours, but we try to be precise in the feedbacks, in the sounds themselves.
Okay, thanks.
There's another question.
Hey, thanks for the talk. I was wondering how you were handling artistic directions on voices specifically.
We work with the creative director of Sifu on the voicing, and he do the casting with us also. So yeah, I think it's this way that we work on the voices, on the sound parts of voices with the creative director, and follow the artistic direction. But for the writing part, they write it with the creative director too. So it was like the head of the voices part.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, thank you for the talk. As you said, you didn't have the Ubisoft money, so I was wondering if it was worth it to make a game playable as a male and female character, because it's a lot of work on the sound design for the voice.
I think from the very beginning, we wanted to have the choice between the two characters. It was also a feature of Absolver, when you can customize your character and even choose if you play with a girl or a boy. And in fact, yeah, we wanted to let the player choose the way he will drive his own story, and it was quite appreciated during the marketing campaign to reveal that the player could also play with a female character. So yeah, it was something we wanted.
Okay. So it was really something that you think about earlier in the development, and
yeah,
it was okay. Thank you.
Hello. I was interested by the way you used speech synthesis as placeholders for the game for test purpose. And so you say the placeholders stayed for a long time, and I was wondering, like, how do you exactly manage placeholder? Like, are they? Do you use placeholder for sound effects too? And yeah, when exactly is the appropriate time to replace them? I was just wondering how it was placed in the pipeline exactly.
Yeah, I can answer if you want. In fact, the use of placeholder voices were as two roles. In fact, the first role is to test the dialogue system. So even if you don't have the definitive voice, you can see if a punch in the face doesn't stop the line of the enemies, it will sound as a bug. But it's not possible if we choose to have writing text on the head of the enemies, for example. So to test our dialogue system, it was quite efficient. And for the rest, also it could test the repetition of the Borg systems. If even if you have some robust voice, you can hear if you hear 15 times in 10 minutes, hey you can hear it quite clearly, and it's useful for it. So so it was useful from the beginning, in fact.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I just thought about another question. Sorry, I was intrigued by, because you talked about interactive music and how you changed the stems that the composer gave you over time to create that flow state. So I was curious about the specific parameters, game parameters that you use to modify that music or states. And also just a little suggestion, as a player, I would have loved to have stingers that will be played on various hits and conditions. I think it could add a lot of dynamism to the game and be very rewarding. So just, yeah, if you happen to have the time or want to do it. So yeah.
Okay, so for the music system, we made a sound mood manager that take how could I say, the fighting state of the moment, which is neutral. There is no enemies. Under tension, which you can see an enemy from afar, and it could say, hey you, what are you doing here? Fight state and the melee state. The melee state is when you managing to fight with with a lot of different enemies. And after a certain amount of enemies down, there is something that will change the music to trick that, okay, this is the last enemies. Check if it's a big guy, which is tough, or a regular guy, and you can change the end of the music according to the threat of the remaining enemies. So in this, yeah, basically there is this 4 states, and for these 4 states, there is for each situation in the level, the entrance, neutral states, tension state, fight state, okay, next room, neutral state, etc. And it's the way that the music goes with the player. We try at one particular moment in the game to make some stingers. You think about I punch someone and it makes something in the music at the same time that could make something more musical. And this, you can find it in the corridor situation in the museum. There is a loop in the music, and each time you punch, there is a little percussion in the music, but it's quite quiet because it's a gimmick that works well, but in the same time it's easily quite annoying in the long session. So that's why we used it just in one particular moment. What we made a lot on the other end in the Sifu is on the last punch of the last enemies, we synchronize the next loop to make the music advance with the situation. So this is a good example of how it could be dynamic.
Thank you, it was very interesting.
Well, thank you very much for this presentation and those questions. Now we'll take a half an hour long break before the next conference. We also would like to ask you please to stay as quiet as possible during the presentation. We know it's late and it's a long day, but please, there is some kind of never-ending chatter in the background, so like this to be as quiet as possible. Thank you very much.